It's strange, how a single scream can split open the silence of an ordinary morning and reveal everything a town wants to keep hidden. The day that happened, the sky over Pine Grove Elementary was heavy and gray, the kind of winter morning that made your bones ache even if you were only 6 years old. The playground was quiet, the only sound the wind sneaking through the window cracks, until that voice shattered it all high and raw and desperate. "Give me back my sister!" You can imagine the chaos. Kids froze mid-step, teachers ran out, everyone's breath hanging in the air. And there in the middle of the muddy yard, a little boy stood barefoot, filthy, his cheeks streaked with tears and dirt. He didn't look real, not the way he kept digging at the cold earth under the big sycamore, fingers bleeding, lips purple from the cold. Nobody knew him. Not the teachers, not the security guard who came striding out with his usual scowl. The boy only kept mumbling, "Lucy, Lucy's here," while the teachers whispered and the security guy barked at him, threatening, blaming, like the boy was some stray animal. No one went near. A couple of kids started filming, giggling behind their phones. "He looks possessed," they said. "Put on TikTok." And still, the boy dug, ignoring the laughter, ignoring the pain, until finally he collapsed in the mud, hands torn, eyes rolling back, whispering, "Lucy, don't be scared." That's how they found him. And that's how the story started, or at least, that's how everyone in town remembers the moment things changed. In the security office, that boy Alex sat on a broken chair, his feet so cold they turned white against the tile. The guard, Derek, tossed him a rag and said, "Clean up. You look like trash." But Alex just stared back, hollow-eyed. He told them about his sister Lucy, told them a man with a black hat had buried her by the tree. The teachers rolled their eyes, called the police. When they came, the officers barely listened. "Just another homeless kid making up stories," they muttered. Nobody asked if he was hungry or hurt. They sent him to a shelter, called him a liar, told him to forget everything he'd seen. But Alex didn't forget. He kept whispering Lucy's name, even when he was curled up on a narrow cot in Rosewood Shelter, the walls peeling, the air stinking of mildew. Miss Susan, the social worker, took one look and wrote him off. Unstable, no parents, probably lying. Only Martha, a new worker, hesitated, her gut telling her something was off. But Susan brushed her aside. Kids like him are everywhere, always making up ghost stories. Alex pleaded with her, "Help me dig, please. My sister's under the tree." But Susan snapped, "You keep lying, you'll end up somewhere worse." So he cried himself to sleep, hugging his knees, convinced no one would ever believe him. And out in the world, his story became a punchline, a viral clip, a rumor, a ghost story to scare the kids. Then came the twist, one of those unlikely moments when the world tilts. A young reporter, Jacob, caught wind of the story. At first, he thought it was just another sad case, another kid lost in the cracks. But when he watched the video, something about the way Alex screamed raw, pleading like someone truly left behind, got under his skin. He started digging, calling, searching. He found Martha's posts on a teacher forum, pieced together the guard's sketchy history, and realized maybe the boy wasn't lying at all. But Pine Grove Elementary wasn't about to let itself be smeared. The principal rose, stonewalled everything, no records, no missing children, no Alex, no Lucy. She'd spent years building the school's reputation, and she'd do anything to protect it. Even when a former teacher, Laura, came forward describing suspicious behavior, children let off alone with the guard, Rose shut her down. "No evidence, no investigation," she said. And so the rumors grew, the walls closed in, and Alex's story faded into the background noise of a town that would rather forget. But you know how truth works, right? It doesn't disappear. It waits buried, maybe but alive under the surface, pushing up like weeds through concrete. Jacob kept digging, finding deleted files, old complaints, names that kept disappearing from records. He teamed up with Martha, who finally decided she'd had enough of being silent. Together, they published Alex's story, his words, his pain, broadcast to 1 million viewers in a matter of days. And that's when things broke open. The police chief, new in town and with nothing to lose, agreed to search the yard. The media swarmed the school. Former students and parents gathered at the fence, some remembering whispers about a girl named Lucy who vanished, others suddenly recalling warnings to never talk to the guard alone. When the digging started, Alex stood silent, clutching the broken doll Lucy used to carry. The first scoop of earth uncovered only a small, mud-stained sheet, the edge of a purple nightgown, a tiny gray hand. The playground went silent, the crowd outside gasping, teachers weeping, parents clutching their kids. And in that moment, for the first time, the whole town saw Alex not as a crazy boy, but as a child who had been telling the truth all along. Derek was arrested in a run-down motel, caught trying to escape. In his suitcase, they found photos, stolen keepsakes, a hard drive of evidence, years of secrets finally dragged into the light. Rose, the principal, was hauled in next obstruction, destruction of evidence, intimidation, all those things she'd done to keep her perfect school spotless. They say she cried in the police car, but nobody felt sorry for her. Alex went home with Martha and Jacob. Not back to the shelter, not back to the cold bed and empty rooms, but to a real homey little house in the countryside, a dog named Bruno, and a garden of white daisies planted for Lucy. He learned to laugh again, to trust, to believe that maybe not all grown-ups would turn away. In the aftermath, the country watched, stunned new laws, new checks, new promises that no child's cry would ever be ignored again. A small park, Lucy's Garden, was built near the school, with a statue of a little angel holding a broken doll. People left flowers there, and sometimes when the wind blew, it sounded like a little girl singing. But here's the question nobody can quite answer: why did it take so long for anyone to listen? Why do we call children crazy before we even stop to hear their stories? Was it really about protecting the school, the town, or just about not wanting to face the dark that sometimes lurks right beside us? If you made it to the end of this story, tell me what would you have done if you heard Alex screaming in that yard? Do we believe too quickly or not quickly enough? And who else is still waiting for someone to dig up the truth? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about justice, about silence, and about the courage it takes to listen when it matters most. If you want more stories like this, subscribe and share, because sometimes sharing a story is the first step toward real change.